Good morning. Welcome to the service of Unity of Burning. And as you were joining us online, we're glad you're with us. You're the one that we do this for, broadcasting this online every Sunday, and hear that from you all that you're blessed by it, like it, you enjoy it. I'd like for you to leave your comments and give us a like. And I'll be talking a little bit more this morning about another part of ministry, this outreach of Unity, very brand new, and it's something that you can take advantage of online right there on Facebook. This morning we'll be talking about getting through the going through stage. So I hope that you will stay with us and hit the likes, and also, if you're blessed by these broadcasts, I ask you to press the PayPal button at the bottom of your page, give the best gift of which you're able. Or you can send your gifts to Unity of Bernie, P.O. Box 1973, Bernie, Texas 78006. Again, that's Unity of Bernie, P.O. Box 1973, Bernie, Texas 78006. So glad you're with us. And as always, come join the family.
Good morning, everyone. I don't think the mic is on, is it on?
Yes, it is. We hear you well.
All right, thank you. Welcome to Unity Church of Bernie. And as we prepare, please turn your cell phones off and put them away for the remainder of the service. My name is Ann King. I'm your worship assistant. We have India back. We always love to have India providing our music. Mark Jackson is our usher. And Chris is in charge of the PowerPoint today. And Tom, of course, is running the cameras and watching the sounds. So there's also a thank you here to Marie and Sherry for taking care of distributing the prayers from our prayer box to our prayer group and the silent community every week. And we'll talk about the prayer box a little bit later. So, if this is your first time here, which I know it's 3 of you's first time here, could you just stand up and tell us your name and where you're from?
My name is Glenn Fox, and I'm from San Antonio.
Nice to have you. And
Lou Belker from newly annexed Fair Oaks.
Hi, my name is Rocio Fox. I'm from San Antonio.
okay. We're happy to have all of you. I think some of you are friends of Joe and Linda, right?
Yes. Yes.
We're glad you're here.
If I may, I saw at the website that, to quote, this place is an oasis of love. We're coming from the desert of San Antonio, and we're parched.
Come on down. We got what you looking for.
We also have some visitors packs on that table in the corner if you want to pick one up before you go. And you will notice in your bulletin there is a list of activities and everything in there, along with how you tap into those that are online, which there are several online. So let's see, we're going to have the announcements. Remember that we reuse the jackets of the order of service. You can take the insert out if you want to take it home, but leave the jackets till the end of the month. And also, the March and April Daily Word, the little book is out, and it's on that back table, and it's free for anybody that would like to take it. We are always collecting dry goods, toiletries, etc., to pass on to the various groups here in Bernie, like family services that help the people that are in need. And so every Sunday there's a little basket out front, blue, where you can drop in non-perishables and toiletries and things like that. So we generally take that every week. Today, after church, the lunch will be at El Rio, and I took reservations and called it in, but we can always add 1 or 2 more if anybody changes their mind. I am not going to be at lunch today, but Chris has the list, so if you want to come and you haven't signed up, just let Chris know, and she can let them know that we have 1 or 2 more. I think we have 1 extra space as it is. Our monthly ladies luncheon is going to be this Wednesday, we send out, Tricia sends out the notice for that on Monday. which
No, it was sent out on Friday.
Friday, I'm sorry, we moved it to kind of more time. And it says to RSVP, but don't RSVP to the notice. Sherry's mobile number is on there, and you can text or call her if you'd like to go. But she does need a head count to know how big of a table to reserve. And this Wednesday, we're going to Cypress Grill. We just changed restaurants. And then we have an advocacy group that meets the second, fourth Fridays from 10 to noon. We've got a good group. I think we had about 16 last time, which is about normal. And also, the first Saturday of every month, there is a men's brunch group, which meets here. And that is from 10 to 11:30. David is not here today because he wasn't feeling well, but there are other men like Joe Tedesco and people that come, so if you're interested, let him know. Also, too, if you're here for the first time, or if you are not getting notices from Unity, on that back table, there is a email sign-in sheet, and you just put your name and your email address, and you'll get notices of the groups that are coming up as they meet, and you'll also get a notice for coming Sunday, what we're going to be having, who's speaking, and what's going on, and also anything special that's happening, whether it's one of our special Christmas services, or whether it's daylight savings time changing, or whatever. It's not a spam. You're not going to get a whole lot of things, but if you want to be in the loop, make sure your email is down there. So we do have our Sunday morning book discussion. We are getting near the end of The Gift of Change by Marianne Williamson. We meet from 9:30 to 10:30. You can come anytime. You don't have to pre-read. You don't have to have a book. We read a little, we talk a lot. So you're welcome to that, and pretty soon we're going to be thinking about deciding on our next book. So let's see. We are encouraging everyone to start wearing name tags again. I don't have mine on, but that is a good idea, especially as we have new people coming in. So let's stand now, and we will have our celebration song, Ever in God's Presence.
He
sorry, we will not have our day in word right now. We will, inside your bulletin, you'll find a prayer request form. And any, if you could benefit from group prayer, or you know how that might benefit from group prayer, you can fill that out and drop them in the prayer box, which is always on the back table before church, or you can drop it in as it comes around. I see one thing on my announcements and the other thing here. So what does it say?
Daily word.
Daily word.
Daily word, daily word.
It is daily word. Okay, well, forget the prayer box for now. And,
As we quietly and gently prepare now for the reading of the daily word, remember that we're in spirits with needs of daily word readers and churches throughout the world. The Christ candle is lit as a reminder of the Spirit of God within all of us, which we call Christ within. The word for today is Palm Sunday. The affirmation is, I celebrate the divine presence within. Today is Palm Sunday, and the commemorative of Jesus' arrival in Jerusalem that symbolizes the awakening of Christ's awareness in humankind. Those who followed Jesus into Jerusalem shouted, Hosanna! Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. Imaging this joyous scene, I feel inspired to follow Jesus' actions and express more and more of the love and the peace and the joy and light of my Christ's nature. As Holy Week begins, I open my heart and mind to more fully embody and share the Christ of my being. I feel blessed knowing others around the world are doing the same. Together we bring peace and healing to the world and to one another, fulfilling the promise of Jesus. And this comes from John 12:13. So they took branches of palm trees and went out to meet him, shouting, Hosanna! Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. The affirmation again is, I celebrate the divine presence within. Thank you for holding. My name is Ann Belling, and we're thankful and we're blessed to have you in service today with us.
Thank you.
This because my announcement sheet is all off. Please stand and join in the call for faith together. In calm confidence,
I affirm that God is at work in me, giving me new and wonderful guidance towards the good that comes to me in the perfect way in time. And so it is.
Remain standing as we sing our joy song, Sweet Hour of Prayer.
Sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer, enfolded in the presence rare of one who fills you with that light, of one who works with wondrous might, the stillness of the silent hour, speaks goodwill and conscious power. This time of silence is to me eternal joy and harmony. The hour of prayer,
Sweet hour of prayer.
and love with all and everywhere. The universe is God, the home of all that is and has your soul. Praise the
providing a sacred space for personal growth. We honor and celebrate the Christ within all people.
Thank you. And please be seated. And now we will have the affirmation and blessing of the prayer request. If somebody could bring the prayer box up, bring us back in.
Good morning. Good morning. Are you all able to hear me back there?
Yes.
Are you hearing you? Okay.
Come in. This is. We are a church that believes in the power of affirmative prayer. Indeed, this denomination, for those of you who are visiting, is one that affirms the good, the pure, the powerful, the positive, the idea that God is a good God, and that we align with that good when we change our thinking, which is sometimes hard to do. That way, when we align our thinking with what is the highest and best that we can think and imagine God to be, we're right on the way. This morning, you'll find in your bulletin a prayer sheet or a little cutout that you can write your prayer requests on, to place in the box as Maria comes forward. I'll take some time if you want to write it. Sometimes you just want to keep them in your heart, that's fine. They'll be sent to, I'll first pray over them myself, and then they'll be sent to Unity. They'll be prayed over for 30 days. So if anyone has a prayer request that they'd like to place in the box right now, Maria will turn around and see you if you're okay. Thank you. So everybody's already placed, I guess.
Some of them did it before.
Okay. All right. So right now, in the stillness and the quietness of our good being, we bring forth the highest intention and the best feeling that we have about the God of our being. Infinite and loving presence, we give thanks that you are in the midst of the lives of these dear ones. And sometimes in this world we forget that. We forget that you are the cornerstone, the very life force that emanates through us, and that we acquaint ourselves with you and be at peace. And ultimately, that's what we want right now and affirm, peace. And how that plays out in the lives of the dear ones that have requests in this box, how that plays out is according to your will. We know, we affirm, we give thanks. You are in the midst of us. You are acting through us. We bless these requests. Our united, loving force goes with them. As above, so below. As within, so without. We hold the highest and best truth that your perfect will is being done in the lives of these dear ones. Right now, we declare it is so. Amen.
This song is a song that I wrote, and it's about how wherever we're going through, we can take steps in faith toward a better reality. It is not dark, for it's now that I see those stars. They make a jewel of the night. I prayed for light in my task. Now I find my way. True answers come when I ask. If light is in my heart, I will find my way. I will always turn to day. And a news in my soul as I appreciate
And now this is time in our service where we take a few centering deep breaths, feel hopefully a place that we visited before inside. A place of peace, untouched, unhurried, unworried, untroubled by the cares and concerns of this world. It is the very essence of us, the place where the creative life force flows through us. Right now, I invite you to take those deep breaths, be aware, perhaps your feet on the floor, your hands in your lap, and in the upcoming silence, we'll allow the Spirit to have sway in our lives. We'll have an affirmative piece before we start, and then we'll be in the silence. Cast aside all doubt, O soul of mine, and be unafraid, for thy power is from on high. He who sits in the heavens shall be my champion. I have no fear. Come forth, O Spirit, from within, and express thyself through me, and let not my doubts hinder my approach. My waiting thoughts shall bid thee welcome to the house of love, and joy shall accompany us through the ages yet to come. feel renewed and reinvigorated. We entertain the highest thoughts about ourselves and our world. We are light. We are peace. We are harmony. We are love. And with abundant thanks, we declare it is so. Thank you. Well, again, good morning to you, and welcome to the House that Love built, or the Oasis of Love in the Texas Hill Country, or the foothills of it, however you want to characterize it. This is a place where people care, where people show love, where it's celebrated. It is the ground of our being, and I'm so glad you're with us this morning. On this Palm Sunday, I'd like to talk to you about the getting through, the going through stage. And this was the situation with Jesus 2,000 plus years ago, when he was on the back of a donkey and they were waving palm fronds at him and shouting praises and all kinds of wonderful things. And we know what happened right after that. And so many of us can think the same things. You know, we go through wonderful situations and we feel like a little bit later on, or life goes on, and then we're dropped. And we seem like we're going up and down, living from a place that is not necessarily calm and peaceful, is a place where we're expecting one thing and getting another. And you know, what you expect, you tend to get. Now, that doesn't mean that life isn't going to throw lessons our way and throw things our way. Now, I'm not talking about the fact that we put our head in the sand. I'm talking about the idea of a calm imperturbability that knows that this world that we inhabit right now can be a dualistic experience if we allow it. Now, there are fancy words for this non-duality and things like, I like to boil things down to their basic component essence. And when we talk about non-duality, or we talk about the idea of peace in the storm, we're talking about realizing that all of this whole thing that we're going through right now, is part of the perfection of the moment of now. But we sometimes can't line up with that, because we have our opinions about how things out there should be going, and we're not even sometimes sure about how we prefer things to be going inside us. In other words, we have enough trouble running us sometimes, much less taking on what's going out there. But what happens? When we have internal conflict and strife and all the things that we consider in our movement, quote, negative, we project it outside. And of course, what we project, we're going to see. And we're going to see more of it because we give our attention to it. And what we give our attention to grows. Have you noticed that when you pay attention to one thing and you keep thinking about it, it begins to occupy more and more and more of a space in your mind. And you're wondering who in the world is running you. And then you begin sometimes to get a jaded feeling about life. It's like the story I heard about the cab driver. The guy was driving a cab, got in the cab, pulled out a gun, looked at the cab driver and said, "Your money and your life." The guy said, "I'm married, I don't have either." What an absolutely terrible way to look at something so wonderful as marriage. But you see, we not me. Let me make that clear, right? Not in my marriage. But I've heard people talk like that, and you probably have to. It's a cynical way of being. It's a way of saying, yeah, I've been there, and it's tough, and I'm with you. It's the ain't it awful club, the misery loves company. But in what we do here, what we celebrate here, what we celebrate in this denomination is new life. Life in the moment. Life is made new the minute that we recognize it. Nothing exists for us that we're not aware of. Think about that for a moment. Nothing exists for us that we're not aware of. All kinds of good can be happening that if we tune into that, if we let go of our precious darling opinions and feelings, we can rise to the moment and be heir to what's going on because our mind is open. And like it said, our mind is like a parachute. It works best when it's open. But so many of us in church and religion, and I'm talking about some of our more fundamentalist brothers and sisters, and you know, that's fine, it works for them, but they walk a narrow path. They even say, you know, walking the narrow path, you better not get one way or another, better not get out of, as Archie Bunker said, God can get plenty sore at you. Think about that. Not the bright and shining love that comes always, but that God can be as dual as we think we are. There's no duality in God, and you were born without it in you. You entered a place to get through a stage that is necessary for the evolution of your soul. As James Allen said in his wonderful little book, As a Man Thinketh, circumstances don't make a person, they reveal him or her to themselves. Circumstances didn't come to define you. You define circumstances. Or as Napoleon Hill said, great success author of the mid-century, he said, circumstances, hell, I make circumstances. I love that kind of idea. Now you may say, well, that's not really leaning back on God, but think about that for a moment. That attitude inside of saying, I make circumstances, is pulling on the creative power that is flowing through us at all times and saying, I'm going to act. I'm going to make a decision. I may not make a perfect decision, but I've made a decision. Matter of fact, I would like to say this. Make a decision. Make sure that you, whatever you're going through, make the decision right now. You can always amend it. But we could get caught so much in the paralysis of analysis that going through part of what we're trying to get through can anchor us to a place where we can't even make a decision because of all the competing voices and ideas in our heads. And what are those voices? They speak to us of fear so many times. They sound like, listen, they sound like relatives or friends who told us negative things about ourselves that we hung on to. And we say, well, in this denomination, we say you create your reality. How could it be otherwise? You're the one who's doing the thinking. You're the one who gets to make the decision. You're a choice. You've got one thing going for you that's a constant, and it never, ever leaves. It's available 24/7, 365. And that is the presence of the God Spirit within you. Call it the Creative Spirit. Call it Louise. It has no ego. It doesn't matter. It's that you recognize it. That you can pull yourself, your opinions about the way things should be, that you can take that apart and say, I'm ready to step into what is. I'm ready to own my power. I'm ready to know that everything that I've heard about worth, my self-worth, is a given. See, I draw a distinction between self-worth and self-esteem. Self-esteem is doing good things and remembering that you did it. Self-worth is a given. So many people define themselves by what they do. But I say, if you are what you do, then when you don't, you aren't. And then we went around looking for another identity. I've had an identity in my life of being a husband, a son, a friend, a business person. I go right down the line. Which one of those would be? It was all just, and just, I'm not being bitter when I say this, but it was an act. Life is a game in large part. We assume personas and masks for what we do at the moment. Nothing wrong with that. But if I was a business person, and that was me, I would be that forever. If I was a son, and I was, I would, that is true forever, but those folks that have me are gone. I'm what I decide I am. I'm what I believe I am. I'm what I tell myself. And I ask you this morning, whatever stage you are in going through, whatever you're going through, what are you telling yourself about who you are? And are you appreciating this very moment? Because I'm going to tell you, everything happens in this moment. Nothing can happen 10 years ago. And nothing's going to happen 10 years hence. It's all going to be now. So if that's the case, why don't you grab this unto yourself? Or as Emerson said, hold this moment, for in it proceeds the fountain of life. And boy, he had a way with words. Think about what you would have happen right now. You know, Jesus was probably thinking about that as he was going through the city on a donkey. He knew the fickleness of people. He was a master psychologist. I've always said, good religion is good psychology and vice versa. Psychology is actually the study of the soul. People don't know that, but psyche means soul. I think psychology, I think religion and spirituality need to catch up with the idea that there is nothing that we have to do to add one single bit of substance to our work. We are worthy because we're here. Jesus Christ invariably, with the people in front of him, never cataloged their mistakes, their quote sins, the missteps. It was always, what can I be? What can you be now? What can you be going forward? The dead past, leave it to bury the dead past. Paul said, count everything joy. Some people say, well, you know what? That's just dressed up stoicism. Who cares what the label is? God is with you regardless of the label you put on yourself. Call yourself a heathen, a Mennonite, a Baptist, a unity person. It doesn't matter. You're making use. Every one of these are making use of the same power. But some of us think, and this is really, I think, where we mess up. Some of us think that we can mold this power to one denomination, one way of thinking, and then we have ministers who think that they can take this power and dispense a little of it here if you keep the rules right, or dispense a little there if you keep the rules right, and do what I say, and toe the party line. This denomination is one of freedom, unity, science of mind, Christian science, divine science, theosophy. Let's go through it. It is, first of all, an area of freedom to experiment in the laboratory of your mind. You have the responsibility. This is what scares hell out of a lot of people. The responsibility to forge their own destiny by the light that's given them. Think about that. We're scared of our own mind. I think I told you, and if I do, forgive me. I had an aunt that couldn't stand to sit in the silence by herself. She'd call me, and I was in my mid-20s. She'd call me and say, I don't want to be sitting here alone because all I've got is just my thoughts. And they were thoughts of fear and upset and scare and torment. And finally I said, Hazel, you haven't done anything bad to feel this way. She said, I know it, but I don't know why I do. Some people would say it was a neurosis. Some people would say she was just being Hazel. However you put, and I think I told you last week that she did have an idea about religion was pretty tight, as she called playing cards 52 generals in Satan's army. So she was a victim of her own prejudices and fears, but I never said that to her that way. I said, Hazel, you haven't done anything to feel this way except you make wonderful tamales and you've given me a wonderful growing up. She said, I know, but I don't know what scares me, but I'm just scared. I had just discovered unity at that time. I put a few daily words in her house. I never knew how that went over. But all you can do is plant the seeds here and there. But you know what? People are wonderful. They really are. No matter where they are, what part of the scale they stand on, people pretty much doing the best they can with the knowledge and awareness they have at the time. They're getting through that going through stage about the best they can. I'm here to say you can raise that up. I'm here to say there's another way to do it. I want to tell you this morning that you need to have a realistic opinion of yourself, appraise where you are, and then when you're finished with that, raise that estimation by 10%. Believe in yourself enough to add that little extra, as Earl Nightingale called it, the little extra bit for the lavishing's sake. I love those kind of words. Just for the divine good feeling of it. Bet on yourself. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Oh wow. When I look out at all of you, I see all these, with apologies to the senior George Bush, all these points of light. Everybody that I'm seeing in front of me has the Christ spirit within them. The Buddha spirit within them. The Brahman spirit within them. Let's quit the name business. It's just there. And if you're leaning inside on that infant, on that cornerstone of your being, on the truth that we celebrate, if you are leaning on that, you are going to get ideas that may kick you out of your comfort zone. The comfort zone. I know I like it. I get so into my comfort zone that I don't even want to get up to go over and get the remote control. And I think to myself, is that not silly? But when I was a kid, I had to get up and turn a dial. Well, I sure don't want to date myself like that, but it's true. I had to turn the dial. And now I'm sitting here with a remote there, and I'm all covered. I don't want to get up and do that. No, then Janet get it for me. No. But I get up, and I get up and I get up and I think to myself, what's wrong with you? You've got the power, use it. Shake it off. Don't get so complacent where you are. And this morning I challenge you, to whatever opinion that you have of yourself, that whatever stage you are in going through, in whatever place you find yourself, and I know by the law of averages that we can't have this many people here that don't have a few where your heart isn't just about breaking. Don't think that I just paper over that with a lot of Pollyanna stuff. Matter of fact, I like Pollyanna. She got a bad rap, but that's something for another message. I know that human experience has heartache, and I don't dismiss it. That's what I'm here for. You can come to me when you hurt. That's what I believe a good pastor, he or she does, and makes themselves available. In the meantime, I ask you this morning, whatever stage you are in, that you feel you are in development, whatever age you are. Stage, age, doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you something that sounds very trite, but it's very true. Happiness is one thought away. Because choice, you're a choice. Now, does that mean that it's all of a sudden going to get better just because you change your mind? It didn't all of a sudden get worse just at one time. You may have entertained negativities and ideas about yourself for years. Your brain is hardwired to feel that way. What you have to do is create new currents that actually change the chemistry of your brain. And science is telling us that. A thought persisted in over a long enough period of time begins to actualize itself. And I ask you this morning to be self-actualized, folks. You be the one, by the light of the God within you, who decides, I'm going to run me. Not the circumstance, not even the consequence, not even the feeling, but me. Betting on yourself, believing in yourself, and loving yourself through it all. God bless you this week. Go forth and have a wonderful night. And so it is. And now we come to the part, as I say, the minister's favorite part. Really, though, you know, we're doing a lot in ministry here. And I want to mention to you before we get too far into the offering, there is another new ministry here at Unity of Burning. As you know, we have our book study, we have Pathliners, we have a Course in Miracles, and now there's Church in a Minute. It's called Go in Spirit. It's on Facebook. If you all would go and like it, I would appreciate it. What it is a paragraph or two every few days that kind of touches people in their hearts. Some people said, I don't even have time for an hour on Sunday. That's fine. I'll meet them where they are. Give them a paragraph to think about. It's called Go in Spirit. It is on Facebook. It is part of Unity of Burning Outreach. Know that your gifts enable us to do all these wonderful things and more. And when you give, you're blessed because it comes back to you. So please give the best gift at which you're able as Mark.
Freely, freely I have received, freely, freely I give. Thy love through me, blessed is all that I am, all that I give and receive, all that I give and receive.
And together, with a great deal of gratitude, we say, Divine
Thy love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I send it forth with my blessings and my love.
So it is.
And build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
Now we stand
Thank you so much. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you soon. Really nice to meet you.
Well, there you have it. Thank you again for being with us. I'm Tom. I'm just one of the people you'll meet while you're here. There's so many cool people here. I felt something the first day I walked in. I've been here for 12 years now. And still feel it when I walk in here. There's something about this community. Something about this place. We are gathering here in the spirit of gathering for learning and personal advancement of the world. And that's our mission statement, is to provide a sacred space for personal growth. Thank you again so much. Till next week, have a most fulfilling time. Very much fulfilling world. We love you, and we'll see you next time we get a chance. Bye now for you. Oh, sorry.